TLIs. And I've heard Easy Speak mentioned before, but what really struck me this last week, Gordon gave this great presentation showing this tool in Excel, how he's made it so he can make little green boxes and help people have an image of what they have left to do to meet their goals, and to show everyone in the club on one screen. And it looked like a really cool tool. And then there was one of the members there who said, well, I've only been in Toastmasters for a year, but I thought everyone used Easy Speak. And Easy Speak does all this for you automatically. And as we talked about some other topics, like, well, how do you get people to set their goals? How do you schedule people for meetings? Every once in a while he'd pipe up and he'd say, well, Easy Speak does that automatically. So I thought, okay, this is it. I am going to look into Easy Speak finally and see what this tool is that I've been vaguely hearing about for years, but it really made me think, how can we use this tool to help our club? So the things that I think Easy Speak could help us with are helping us with achieving goals, both members setting goals, tracking their own progress, and having visibility into where people are from the club officers. It also allows you to bring in information for multiple clubs if you have multiple clubs using this tool. Visibility for the club officers on DCP progress. It seems like it's pretty easy to use for meeting setup. We were able to customize our role names and set up meetings using templates. Members can request speaking slots, and it has a way to auto-assign, so you encourage people to rotate through different roles. And there are tools to get RSVPs and commitment for meeting roles, so it makes it easier to do some of that ahead of time. Then there are tools that are really handy for use during the meeting. You can produce a detailed meeting agenda or a summary meeting agenda. The one I handed out today was this summary form. We have a lot of options for how we can customize that as well. It has a place where it includes the theme. You can put a word of the day in ahead of time, and it includes that on the agenda. It includes the speech objectives automatically and target times for your timer. There's also a speech intro one-pager that is really nice. It includes the objectives and the intro on one page, so you don't have one page for each speaker. It's not quite as big a font as the other one, but and there's timer tools that you can use on your phone that make it super easy to do the timing right there and track it through the meeting. And then there are many other tools which I'm just beginning to explore, but there are membership rosters and place for photo galleries. There's officer and mentor lists. You can track awards. You can have annual summary that shows you kind of a look back and a way to look at your club. So I'm going to walk you through these different areas and show you some screenshots of what this actually looks like. But I think that this could be a tool that could really help our club, and it might be something that we might want to take to some of our other clubs and enable us to be able to get that tracking of our progress and help us meet our goals, especially as we're reading across multiple clubs. So this is a little bit hard to see, but they have a member survey. So you might have seen this before, where people can put in their professional profile and questions about, why did you join Toastmasters? So how would you describe your current skill as a speaker? Why did you choose to join Toastmasters in this club in particular? So this is an optional tool that you could use as a way to bring people in right away and understand what their goals are, why did they join this club, and how can we help support them. Then members can easily set communication and leadership goals. Here's an example of the pull down for set a new goal, and you can say, I want to achieve a competent communicator, I want to complete X number of speeches, I want to complete 5 speeches from this workbook, and here's the date that I want to complete it by. So it allows you to easily set a goal and then make that a public goal. And then it makes it easy to figure out what you need to do to meet that goal. So I said I want to achieve a competent communicator, and it said, okay, you need 8 more speeches based on what's recorded in here. You need to do a speech about every 3 weeks. Then you can also see your history and your progress. So it can show you from the Competent Communicator Manual, you've done these 2 speeches. When did you start it? When did you last speak? This one showed I had this one scheduled for today. And then there's a summary by manual that shows you for each of the projects, what was the title, and when did you do it, and who evaluated you. So for mine, I had this Competent Communicator, Technical Presentations, and High Performance Leadership were all in there that I put in for myself. Then you can also see your role history. Right now this looks pretty blank since we didn't have any meetings that were recorded in here yet, but it can show who's done what for the different club roles. I like how there's visibility for the club officers on the progress towards goals. So you can see who's set what goals. Gregory has been in here before, and so he had some goals that he set in the past. So you can see how people are doing. Well, maybe Gregory needs a little bit of support because he's overdue on some of his goals. How can we support him? And then you can also see, what people are doing, what they have left to do. Here's also on the leadership chart, and again, I appreciate Gregory being in there to give us some data to show us what this looks like. So that's making it super easy for us to set goals and individuals to take power over setting their goals and having visibility for what they need to do to achieve those goals. I'm going to show you a little bit about creating new meetings. And so when you create a meeting, you can set a Toastmasters meeting, a committee meeting, or other event, so you can categorize between those. And you can choose a venue. So I set up 2 different venues, one for the Big Thompson Canyon on the main floor, and then I set another venue for the one below, so we could actually indicate that on our agenda more clearly. And then there's different agenda templates, similar to what we're used to, but we can set different agenda templates. We could define different people to be a meeting manager. We could also put some kind of note in here about the meeting. And there's also a place to put your meeting theme in from the beginning. When we set meetings, as I mentioned before that for roles, we can customize the names of things. So I was able to go in and say, we want to call this a coach, but it's going to be translated to Toastmasters International as evaluator. So when they're tracking what roles you've completed, they'll know that you've been an evaluator, but we can still call it a coach. And there's also rules as far as what roles can be assigned or can be auto-filled. Can you repeat this role more than once? So it gives us some rules for how they auto-fill the positions. Then when we're creating the meetings, there are templates. And one thing I found interesting is that they have speech and evaluation competitions or international speech competitions. In addition to other meeting templates, they have some of those already set up. And of course, we can customize them too. We can delete roles, we can edit them, we can switch around the order. So that makes it really easy. Now, as a speaker, when you want to give a speech, you can either go in and say, okay, I want to give a speech out of this manual that I'm working on, and I can put in my title and my preferred dates. I was a little worried because sometimes we pick a date first and then we decide our projects later, but it did let us do that. So you have to at least pick your first priority for a date, but you can put a first, second, and third priority for when you would like to speak next. And then that information is given to the Vice President of Education for scheduling a speech. So then I can go in and see, there's a couple ways it shows up, but here I did it twice where I said I want to give a speech. So there's an indicator, there's a couple different views where I can see who wants to schedule a speech. It also has some really nice tools for scheduling for communication. So they have automated emails for first to go out and to say, hey, we're having this meeting, are you coming? And then once you RSVP, whether you're coming or not, then it allows you to either auto assign some roles or manually assign some roles and send out confirmations, send out requests for volunteers for open slots. So it's some really nice tools for making that communication easy. And then there's a lot of different meeting agendas, as I mentioned, the one-page speech intro summary, detailed agenda, and I highlighted some of the things that I liked about the agenda. There's also this mobile-friendly version. So you can pull it up on your phone And you can see it here, you can see what's happening. And I really like there's this timer tool. So you can pick the timer and then you can say on here, I'm gonna time this, and this one I have opened up to show I'm timing that speaker. And then it keeps a record for the timer at the end when you wanna have your timer report. There's directory tools, you can have photos and contact information. There's a mentor tracking tool, and here's the one showing the meeting award manager and the club meeting annual review. So there's a lot of tools. I'd really like to hear your questions or your concerns, or Gregory, your experience on how you think this could support our club, or things that we should be cautious about as we're changing to this tool. Alex?
Is there a cost to this?
It's free. It's run by some other districts. Like, it looks like there's some districts, I'm thinking the guy who created this is in England. And, you know, they do welcome donations. Esther?
I've looked at it also, and you know I'm VP of Education in Sunrise, and it does seem to have a lot of power. It would involve, though, everyone having to access 2 websites, would it not? One for other information? I mean, this doesn't replace our...
This would replace
Yeah, it would.
our other website.
Okay,
We would
okay,
move away from the Free Toast Toast.
okay. I guess I haven't explored it fully to see.
And I
what everything
believe that
said.
once you log in, you can switch between your clubs.
What about people who can't get to a computer or don't have a smartphone?
Yeah, so this is in some ways a similar situation to what we have now with Free Toast Host, although this actually has a place where you assign a computer buddy. So if there's someone who doesn't have access, you designate someone who's their computer buddy, and they're able to make changes on that person's behalf or make sure they get communicated to, which I thought was wise.
What's the web address?
easy-speak.org.
Yeah, it's actually on your bottom of here, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe it didn't get on here.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, sorry, it's not on there.
But
But
magnifying glass?
I think once we decided we were ready to make the change to this, we would also point peakperformance.org to this instead of the Free Toast Host.
Can you change the URL to customize it?
Well, we have our peakperformance.org that we would just point to this one that has Easy Speak in it. Alex?
So then that suggests that there's web pages that you could actually build into this to make it appear like a website rather than
There
just-
are, yeah, I didn't capture the screenshots of that, but there's a welcome page for guests. There's places, you know, how to get to our meeting, when do we meet, public information about the members that we choose to make public, or how to contact us. So there is that whole front page element for visitors. Thank you.
Can you put pictures into that front page?
Absolutely.
I thought I had just heard a discussion over whether or not some of these websites were successfully going to make the transition to Pathways. And I thought that Easy Speak said it would, but
You know what, that's an excellent question, that would be something to investigate. The way that it's set up, it looks like it's very well used in certain districts, and I think it's something that could be a tool for a division governor or a division director or area director to be able to get visibility into their clubs as well. Well, I appreciate your attention today, and I hope that you will agree with me that this could be a tool that could really help us with setting goals, setting up our meetings, and being more effective as Toastmasters.